Welcome to Jan's Views, a place where I share my views and listen to yours. Whether you are here for my artwork, live streams, shorts, or just for the giggles, please be assured I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you will enjoy your time here on my channel. I would be eternally grateful if you would give a like to the video, consider subscribing and, dare I ask, even become a member. So without further ado, let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Jan's Views. Tonight it's Wellness Wednesday. So we're going to sit back, we're going to chill, we're just going to chat. Because that's what we do, especially on Wellness Wednesday. We don't get any drama. No drama, guys, on a Wednesday. We save that all till Friday. So I'm going to say, I hope you're all well. Have you had a good week? Do you know what? I was just dozing on the sofa. What's wrong with me? I knew I was going live. I had it all set up. And there I am, lounging on my sofa, thinking, oh, I could nod off here. So it's just as well I didn't. So, they're late coming in today. We've got old Moosey in. Hi, Moosey. How are you? How is your week? I hope you had a good week. I hope you've stayed out of the online drama. Isn't it ridiculous? Isn't it really? I mean, come on, guys. There's a great big world out there. Get out there, enjoy it. I certainly do. Yesterday, I was out and about with my granddaughter. She's still off school, and I thought, well, she contacted me and said, Nanny, when are we going out? So I said, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it Tuesday. Hi, I'm a plant dad. How are you, darling? I hope you're well. Yeah, so yesterday, I don't know if you saw my story. Is it called my short? That's it. Where I put up a short video of my trip to the cathedral with her. I love the cathedral, and I love the cathedral even more when I can take my grandkids. Because yeah, I don't want to go on about religion, but I'm quite a religious person. Religious slash spiritualist. That's me. And I do believe in introducing our kids to the Lord. That's it. That's what I'm going to say. So anyway, as I said, I always enjoy going, taking them to a church, and we're very lucky. I think it's probably about maybe 8 miles away. We've got this fabulous cathedral that I love. So I like to take them for them to feel, to feel a little bit of spiritualism. I don't sort of throw it down their throats because I don't believe you should do that. Each of my kids have been christened. That was very important. Uh, and yeah, although none of my kids really um, are particularly religious. Well, I know they're not really. My eldest son is probably the most religious, and that's probably because of his girlfriend. His girlfriend is Nigerian, and they're very sort of family based and very sort of religion based as well. So I think it sort of rubs off on him. So yeah, so I would say out of all of them, he's probably the most religious. But anyway, let's see who else we've got in here. Oh, let's see. It's so cool that you get to spend so much time with your grandkids. Yes, I know, I'm blessed. I know I am, because I know that there's quite a few people that don't have that, and I just couldn't imagine my life without my family and my grandkids. I just find that really difficult. I know people whose families, like one of my neighbours, their son lives in Japan, and it's like, uh, and I think they've only got one child, and that's a son, and he's over in Japan. And I say to them, well, how do you cope with him being so far away? And he said, well, we visit, and I thought, yeah, but that's not quite the same, is it? It's not quite the same as having them like within. My nearest grandchildren are in the car 7 minutes, 5 if I put my foot down. That's how close we are. So I know I'm very lucky. I never take it for granted. Hi, Bridge. I hope you're well, darling. I don't think my parents introduced me to the Lord. Maybe that's where everything went wrong with me. Oh dear. Do you know, I think a lot of it does have to do with religion, um, or parenting, or upbringing. That's what I was thinking of. I think a lot of it's got to do with upbringing, and I was brought up in a very sort of religious. Uh, how can I put it? Well, I was brought up in care, so the home was like very religious. We used to go to church every Sunday. That used to bore me silly. I can still remember my Sunday coat, guys. It was red. It was red wool, and I think it had like, I can't think of the style of it, but the collar was more rounded. It was sort of rounded, and I think it was white. So God knows what I looked like. God knows. But anyway, I still remember that. So yeah, so I think because I've had quite a religious upbringing, um, I think there comes a point in everybody's life when they decide whether or not they want to believe. And I think I've always believed. Um, and I think you can believe without going to church. I don't think you have to go to church. I don't go to church that often, guys. Um, the major problem I have with churches is that they're all stuck up, and I always stand out like a sore thumb. So yeah, even in today's world, and there's no sort of black churches near me. I'd have to go into London. I have asked around, um, but yeah, unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any. So yeah, so I prefer to worship. I just prefer to have my own religion. I go to a church when I want to, um, and my favourite place is the cathedral. So yeah. Um, so you like being around young people? Yeah, I do as well. Yeah, I do. Um, they didn't want to indoctrinate anything into me and wanted me to make my own decisions about it. Yeah, both of my parents grew up in religious households, but didn't really practice it as adults. Yeah, I don't know whether it's the same as it is over here in England, but it's it's not, I don't know. I don't wanna say trendy. Maybe that's the word I'm looking. I'm sort of thinking along those lines, but I don't think it's something that youngsters, um, tend to do. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just thinking that, I remember there was a time, I think, in my early teens when I was like, we weren't going to church all the time then. But the thing is, I always used to go to church schools. Let me get a sip of my tea. Do you know what? I bet that Edna's nodded off again. She's bloody useless. Honestly, I was speaking to her earlier, guys. And I bet you any money she's nodded off. Right, let me see. Okay, it's better to be in the mountains and think about God than to be in church thinking about the mountains. Oh, wow, that's an interesting quote. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, no, Edna, poor Edna, poor Edna. Oh, my Lord. Edna's away with the fairies. What can I say? She's always away with the fairies, whether she's here with me or whether she's elsewhere. She's always away with the fairies. Can we always remember that, guys? Right. Yeah. That's one of your favorite quotes. Oh, do you know what one of my yeah, I believe that. I believe that, Moosey. Absolutely. I tell you what, she's in so much trouble. Honestly. I had to have words with her earlier, guys. Ah, you can imagine. Yeah, okay. Let's say let's as there's a few of us in here. Let's put down what our favorite quote is. What's your favorite quote? Um, One of my favorite quotes, I think I've got a couple. One of my favorite ones is "The world is a stage and all the people merely players." That's as much as I know of that quote. Who knows? Who can tell me who wrote that quote? It's a very famous uh, poet or playwright. Um, playwright. Anyway, I've been dozing. Never mind Edna being relaxing, always relaxed. I was so relaxed earlier, I nearly nodded off. I had to put the TV on, and oh my God, do you know? I had an aunt back in the day, not a blood aunt, but anyway, she was an aunt. And yes, Moosey's very clever. Do you know what? I thought Bridge was going to beat you to that. Bridge must be relaxed as well. Anyway, I had this aunt, and oh damn, what was I saying? It's gone. What was I saying about my aunt? Edna, come and rescue me. Like, yeah, I don't know the whole quote, but I love that quote. Um, my second favorite quote is "Revenge is a dish best served cold." Guys, I run by that. I live by that mantra. Trust me. Mm. Wait until it comes off the boil, and then wham! You can get your revenge then. Oh, it's a fabulous feeling, guys. Absolutely fabulous. Anyway, it was Edna's idea that we should talk about friendships. So she's 13 minutes late. So I guess I'm gonna have to talk friendships to myself. And you know what? I can talk for England, so it doesn't bother me. And I'm chilled. I don't need to be puffing on something to be chilled. I'm just chilled. So guys, I was thinking, Edna and I were talking about friendships, and what do I don't want to sort of get straight to the point, but it's like, okay, I think there's two kinds of friendships, and well, there's more than two kinds, but um, do you think that online friendships are possible? Or do you think you have to have a friendship with somebody that you've physically met? What do you think? All right, Bridget says, I just put this quote on my Twitter last night because I've been obsessed with the old actress Tallulah Bankhead. Oh, unfortunate name, isn't it? Bankhead. Isn't that weird? Tallulah, I think, is all right. That reminds me of Bugsy Malone. My name is Tallulah. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that one. Too many of our countrymen rejoice in stupidity, look upon ignorance as a badge of honour. They condemn everything they don't understand. Oh my God, that's a brilliant quote. But Bridge, I'll never remember it. You know what my memory's like. I'd never remember it. Too many of our countrymen rejoice in stupidity. Oh my God, 100%. Look upon ignorance as a badge of honour. Yes. Do you know, we get that over here as well, Bridge, and it drives me nuts. They condemn everything they don't understand. Oh, I love it. There's actually, there's actually 3 quotes in one there. I like it. I like that a lot. So we seem to have a few talkers in here. We've got Gregory Schmeggery has come in. First thought, what? First thought reading that quote, Trump supporters. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, possibly. Do you know that I think that's part of the problem with I know it's part of a problem over here in England, and I don't know, and it's not I don't think it's a political thing. Over here, it's like, like with reality TV, it's like they make stars and they applaud and reward people for their ignorance and stupidity, and it drives me nuts. Drives me insane. I've quite often spouted off about it because, you know, especially when you've got a family, and you've brought your family up and you've seen that they've tried hard and they've studied and they've gone on to uni and they've really tried very, very hard and to get where they are and to get a decent job. And then you get somebody who goes on what's it called? Reality TV, and they're seen as some sort of superstar. I hate it. I hate it, guys. Um, I think online friendships are possible, but genuine ones are rare. Thank you, Bridge. Thank you. I agree. I agree. And I think it's easier. Let me see. Let me think here. Excuse me. Have a sip of my tea. I've made online friends. I have. Um, and this anyway, let me try and have a conversation without veering off the path. It's so hard, guys. I'm not as young as I used to be. Um, anyway, so I've had online friends, and I think sometimes it's harder to see red signs or red flags when you've got online friendships. Whereas I think in real life, I know for me, if a friend made me feel a certain way in real life, then I just wouldn't bother with them. I'm quite good at cutting people off. Um, and with online friends, in a way, it's easier to cut them off, but in another way, it's not because they keep bloody appearing. They keep appearing when it's an online friend and you've fallen out with them and you really don't want to speak to them and you don't really want to see them, and then they turn up in a chat room, not a chat room, in a live stream that you're in. It's like, oh Jesus, just go away. I had a good conversation with Edna about it today, but of course she's fast asleep on her couch. Um, what you don't understand, you fear. What you fear, you hate. What you hate, you want to destroy. Is that a quote by somebody else, Moosey, or is that just from you? Or is that just your understanding? It's an interesting quote. I used to watch British Celebrity Big Brother. It was one of my favourite reality shows. It was so bad. It was awful, Bridget. It was awful. It's so in the end, I couldn't watch it in the end. It was just so dreadful, and the celebrity ones were even worse, and we always used to have an American in there that nobody knew who they were. Like, once we had Trisha Paytas on there, who made an absolute arse of herself, and, nobody liked her, and I think in the end, she just walked. And it was like, "What the hell are you doing, girl? You're meant," anyway, she was just, I think she came in expecting to have some sort of, celebrity status, and she got absolutely none. No status whatsoever. Right. Just bear with me, guys, because my cat is crying outside. So I'm just gonna let her in, and then I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, she's sorted. Mm. I have a problem with her in that she treats the garden like an all-you-can-eat buffet. So I look out the window and she's running around with something in her mouth, and I'm like, "Oh my God." So I never let her in unless I see that there's nothing in her mouth because fed up with finding bits and bobbins around the place. So no, no. So that's why I said, "Oh, it's quite a big thing to let her in." So, yeah, where were we? Yeah, Trisha Paytas, what a disaster. She was awful. Awful, awful, awful. I don't know if she was on the same time as the other awful guy, Perez. What was his first name? Perez. Something Perez. Oh, he was awful as well. I mean, to be fair, you Americans don't get a very good rep from us. You don't know. We don't like you on our celebrity Big Brothers. Um, no. New York from reality TV in America was on there too. New York? I can't remember that one. Oh, that's right. Paris Hilton. Oh, he was ghastly. Oh, Lord, no. We didn't like him at all. He was just, he was just performing the whole time. I thought about going on there once. Um, I went for a audition once for it years ago, and didn't get it. And the reason it wasn't for celebrity, it was just an ordinary one. And the reason why I didn't get it is because they already know who they're gonna have on there, so it's all crap. Um, no, I don't think so. I don't think an American has ever won Celebrity Big Brother. Not over here, I don't think they have. No, don't think so. Um Yeah, so I thought, "Oh, I'll go on there." Do you know what? I really didn't wanna do it because I thought it was at the time. Do you remember when they used to film them when they were in bed and they were sleeping? And I thought, "Oh my God, I really don't wanna be filmed sleeping." Do you know what I mean? With my mouth wide open and dribbling from the side of my mouth. No. Anyway, it's coming back, and my daughter said to me, she said, "Mum, why don't you do Big Brother? It's coming back." I went, "Are you having a laugh? Have you said?" I mean, I wouldn't have minded doing it like in my 40s, maybe, but I don't want to be on there as an old bird. You know what I mean? Just sat outside coughing my guts up all day long. No, not have to straighten my hair every day. Oh no. And I mean, my sleep pattern's up there. My sleep pattern's up the creek, guys. So while everyone was asleep, I'd be like, you know, just wandering around with a fag hanging from my mouth. Nobody wants to see that. And I know I'd be the first one out. Definitely, because listen, if I don't like someone, I find it very difficult not to show it. So yeah, fill me full of house, fill the house full of like, how many do they have in there? About 10? Hang on, I need to clear my throat. Excuse me. Yeah, so if they had like 10 people in there, I can guarantee I probably wouldn't like 5 of them. That's how fussy I am, guys. Sorry. I know I come across all friendly and everything online and lovable and that, but yeah. God, I do make myself laugh. Okay. Oh, did you? Yeah, no, I didn't make it either. I was quite relieved. I know. They have cameras in the bathroom. Can you imagine this? This. They'd be like, get her off. For God's sake, she looks a mess. Anyway, no, not going to happen. They have people in their 50s and 60s on the one in America right now. I thought they would be the first to get kicked out, but they are still there. Yeah, that's because they don't go around trying to bonk everything in sight, isn't it? You know, I don't. The thing is, I'm like, I just know. For one, I wouldn't tell them what my age was. They'd have to guess. And for two, I no. No, because if somebody wound me up, I'd end up saying something to them, and then the whole public would think I was horrible. It would be like going in a GG's live stream or something. Do you know what I mean? Where everyone's hurling apples at me or tomatoes. No, I don't think I'd do that. I think I'll give that one a miss. No show, no showmance for me. No, never in a million years. Listen, getting back to that bridge. That's something else that dear Edna, you know, absent Edna, if I find out she's on Monty's thing, she's in trouble. Really big trouble. Enormous trouble. Bridge, do you wanna come up and talk a bit about that no romance thing? Are you happy to talk about that? I mean, it's still I've no idea. No idea where she is. She should be here. Honestly, I just give up with that woman. We were talking a few years ago. Ah, ah, we were talking a few hours ago. Yeah, so I thought, listen, guys, Bridge did a really interesting video the other day about being a non-romantic. Is that right, Bridge? Hello, you on there, girl?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me see if I can see you. Where are you?
Oh,
There
there
you
I
are.
am.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was so interested in that.
Mhm.
And I know Edna was as well, but Sodder, she's not here. Um, so it made me think, honestly, I was going down
Uh-huh.
ticking all the boxes. I was like, oh my God, that's me. So
Uh-huh.
do you want to just give a quick sort of synopsis of what it is you were discussing? And
Look, because I'm still studying it because I came across it and I'm just like, yeah, and I was ticking all the boxes. Like, that's me, that's me. Like, I don't have a desire to be in a relationship, you know? Like I feel like and with the aromanticism thing, I think it's like a spectrum. Some people
mhm,
are just like, it's gross. I don't want anything to do with it. But like for me, I like the idea of romance. I like the idea of being in a relationship. but I don't really want to be bothered with this.
Yeah, I really understand that. But then I think, well, I probably reached that stage because I've had too many. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Hmm.
I've had that in my life. And now I don't want it. It's like,
Right.
even though my kids are always like, "Oh, mom, wouldn't you rather have somebody come in?" I said, "Why would I want a 60-year-old man walking around my place? I don't want it."
That's exactly what my dad says. My dad is like in his 80s, his late 80s, and he was like, I don't want no old lady around me.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, why do I want some guy here who's lived, a long life? He's got, exes, he's got kids,
Uh-huh.
he's got grandkids. Why do I want that for me?
Right,
I don't
right, right,
I
right.
really don't want it. And they look at me like pity. Do you know what I mean? They sort of look at me like, "Oh, poor mum, you're such a man hater." And I'm like, "Listen, it's not even that I'm a man hater. I'm a realist."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I was gonna say that, like, not to keep on talking about my dad, but like he has women that are interested in him, and he had his little girlfriend that he's known forever, and I'm just like, why don't you just be with her? And he's like, because she has just too much baggage. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, because her kids come over, then her grandkids come over. I was like, that is not baggage. That is her family. What are you talking about?
but I can so relate to that.
Yeah, yeah.
I really can. And also, I know it sounds awful, but once you sort of get to my age and you see what's sort of available, I'm
Mhm.
like, no thanks. I'd rather just, live on my memories if I wanted to. Not that I
Right.
do, but I feel I've been very fortunate. I've had good relationships. I've also had bad relationships. And
Mhm.
my kids just think I'm a man hater, and that's why I don't want a man. And I'm like, but no, because what you don't realize is the man that I would get now would have to be sort of round about my age. Well, there's no way I want that. I don't want it. So when you were talking about that what's it called again?
Aromantic, yeah, aromanticism.
Yeah,
Mhm.
aromanticism. When you were talking about that, I thought, bloody hell, I think I'm one of those. But Bridget, I'm going to ask you a question now.
Mhm, mhm.
Have you always felt like that, or is it because you've had a couple of like shit relationships and you're like, oh, I'm done now?
You I don't think that I've ever like really sought out a relationship. Like I've been in relationships and they just kind of happened because we were hanging out with each other. We liked each other. It was cool. But I don't know. It's just not nothing that I seek out. Like I've been single for like I think maybe 3 or 4 years now. And it's just not important to me. Like I'm doing other things in life. And I think
Yeah,
that's how it's always been.
I think. I mean, the thing is, you have got your life ahead of you, so you
Hmm.
can sort of pick and choose a bit more than I can. If I pick, what have I got to choose from? Like, I've got all the dregs. Do you know what I mean? No, thanks. No, not for me. I mean, my last husband was, how old was he? 13 years younger than me,
Oh wow.
and
Hmm.
both my girls have married men who are 12 years older than them. So
Hmm.
so we've got this really weird dynamic in my family where I'm only like 10 years older than their husbands. And my ex-husband was younger than their husbands. Yeah,
Wow.
that's it. I know, it's weird. Um, it could only happen in my case. Um, but but Um, so I think that's maybe why I'm actually, quite content not
Mhm.
getting a partner. I don't need a partner.
Right. I
And
think because I was in Bally's live stream last night and she was talking about her husband and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't ever, I'm not never going to be married. I'm just going to be alone. And she said that, you know, she used to feel like that, but she basically felt like she needed a relationship because she didn't have a close relationship with her family. And then that's why she got married because she, you know, she didn't want to be alone for the rest of her life or something like that. I don't know.
yeah, I think there was a time I was with a guy, my kid's father, for, oh God, how long? 15 years.
Hmm.
And had 3 children with him and then left him. And then I had a couple of sort of relationships in between. And then I met this guy that I didn't even fancy him to begin with. I thought, oh no. But then I think I sort of liked the idea of being in a partnership again,
Uh-huh.
at that particular moment in my life. So eventually, I married him. God knows why. Why did I marry him? Jesus, worst decision. But I did have a lovely child with him.
Uh-huh.
So my son is like, his son, obviously, is like, how old? 14 years younger than my other son.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I married my toy boy, and oh my God, maybe it's him that's put me off. I just, I just couldn't. It's let me just see what people have put in here. Oh, you've been married 42 years. 42 years.
Wow. Wow.
I admire people who do their own thing. Moosey, I applaud you. I do. Um, I couldn't do it, darling. And I'm not being rude, but I, I, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't have. What about all their habits? What about all their do you
Hmm.
know what I mean? And ugh, no.
I was listening to this comedian, Trevor Noah, who's a comedian, South African
Oh yeah,
comedian
we
in
know
America.
him. My
Yeah.
daughter loves him.
Yeah, I love him too. I think he's so cute. But he had done an interview and he was talking about marriage. And he was like, you know, I'm open to an idea of a relationship. And the interviewer was like, you know, so you live with somebody? He was like, he said, I don't think that marriage has to involve living with someone. And
Yeah,
he was like, you can be married and you guys can still have your own places. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds good to me.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Uh, my kids have even said to me, "But Mum, wouldn't you like to have a companion?" I said, "If I want to
Mm.
have a companion, I'll get another cat. I don't need some old codger." Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's who, you know, because I've always said to my kids, it takes at least a year, 18 months to get to know somebody.
Right.
That's how long it took me.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm just a bit slow, but that's what I've always thought. And I don't want to be with somebody with all his ailments and
Mhm.
burping and then having to share a bed with them. Oh no, no, I just don't. I just don't want to do it anymore.
But that's what
Um,
Trevor was saying too. That like you know you think about like traditional relationships and marriage and living together and sharing a bedroom, and he's just like it doesn't have to be like that. Like you can make up your own rules.
yeah, is he with somebody?
And I think he just got out of a relationship.
Yeah. See, I suppose if you meet a like-minded person, then it's
Hmm.
possible. But the other
Yeah.
problem I have is I'm insanely jealous. I'm a Scorpio. Um, and what makes it even worse is I'm on the cusp with a Sagittarius. So that's why I'm completely screwed in the head. Ah, God, my mother couldn't even get that right. Um, yeah, so I think if you meet some if you meet somebody, if you're really chilled about not
Uh-huh.
really wanting a permanent relationship,
Hmm.
and the person you meet feels the same way, then it could be successful. But then what happens if one of them starts playing away. Do you know what I mean? One of them starts being, I mean, where do you draw the line on fidelity?
That's what, because I have been watching a lot of videos on the aromanticism thing, and I came across this couple. I guess they're a couple, but they call it a queer platonic relationship. So it's like a platonic relationship. They do all the things that like a couple would do, but
Yeah.
they're not in a romantic relationship. So they have that understanding. And I think that's like you have to come to an understanding. You have to draw the line somewhere, because I think it would just be, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I couldn't. Even at my age, I'd be like, "Are
Yeah.
you looking at that? Are you looking at that 55-year-old
Right.
woman over there?
Right. Right.
Get out of here." I just couldn't be bothered. I just
Yeah.
no. Let's see what Bea says. Once you get used to being single, it would be harder to get back in the dating game. I don't think we're missing much on the date scene. Okay, so take it from that then, Bea. Is it Bea or Bia? Is it short for Bianca?
That's
Yeah, is
yeehaw.
that how you feel?
Bia is yeehaw.
Oh, is it? Oh my God, I'm
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
sick. Listen, I tell you what, Bridget, you didn't realize before now, did you? 6 months ago, you didn't realize I was so like ditzy. Ah, that's why I like doing live streams, because people really do get to see the real me, whether they like it or not. I'm the real me. I can't possibly be anybody else. Women with dysfunctional families are the most vulnerable ones to crave and to create a brand new family of their own. Yes, that's
Mhm.
what I wanted. That's why I started very young, because I didn't have a family. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that was one of the most important things for me to do. Um, see, I know what her name was. Was it? I like the name Bianca. It's a nice name. Um, yeah, so where were we going with that when you were saying about we were saying about it being important that both parties agree
Right.
in that
Mhm.
relationship. Did I get it wrong? Did you say a queer relationship?
Yeah, they call it a queer platonic relationship.
But they're heterosexual and
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, I think they can
heterosexual.
be like, yeah, I think it can be hetero, because the couple that I was looking at, she was bisexual. Um, but
Hi,
she
Zena.
said, yeah, but she said she would never want any type of, like, she's attracted to women, but she wouldn't want any type of relationship or anything with a woman. Um, and he was heterosexual, but I think they just call it a queer platonic relationship, regardless of your
All right.
sexual orientation.
See, I've not heard about that.
Mhm.
Not
It's a
heard about that.
lot. That's why I said I've been studying it, because it's so much.
Yeah. Do you
Mhm.
know I think it's kind of nice that well, I don't know if nice is the right word, but it's quite interesting that the world's opened up so much about not
Mhm.
only sexuality, but also about relationships. I mean, one of my sons, I don't want to tell his business, but one of my sons has been with his girlfriend for 10 years now. And I'm like, are we not sort of getting any wedding bells or anything?
Right.
And I always get a lecture from him when I say that. He's like, "Mum, things are different these days,"
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Yeah, but don't you think, and that"
I
anyway.
I think I think that sometimes a marriage can ruin a relationship. Like, you have a good thing going on. Maybe I'm just biased because that's how my parents were. Like, my parents were together for years. Like, I was born, they weren't married. I had no idea they weren't married. And they didn't
Mhm.
and they were together for years, and they didn't get married till I was about 10 or 11 years old. And I remember, because I found the marriage certificate. I was going through stuff, and I was like, "What is this?" And they didn't get married till like years like years later. I was like, "What?" And then it was a few years after that they started having problems. And I remember also it was a celebrity couple that they were together for years, and she kept on pressuring to get married, and he's just like, no, we got a good thing going on. And so finally he was just like, okay, let's get married. And like a year later they broke up. So I think sometimes marriage can ruin a relationship. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. And I have to take it like with my son. He just makes me feel like I'm sort of a real daft geriatric when I say anything. And he's like, oh my, he's sort of his eyes roll about in his sockets. And he's like, but you don't understand, Mom, and this and that. And they're both really, really happy.
Uh-huh.
They're both, but I think the living situation is difficult because she lives with her mom in London and he lives with my ex. Well, he kind of lives there, uses it as a hotel. But then he's a musician, you see, so he's always out and about. And do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But yeah, they've got a solid marriage, if you could call it. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
marriage of souls because
Hmm.
they're soulmates.
Yeah.
But I guess, maybe it's a generational thing, but I do always think, oh, be nice if you just put a ring on a finger.
I think that like that marriage certificate just puts added pressure that's unnecessary. That's how I think of
Oh,
it.
yeah. All right. I've got a message here from Zena. Right, let me see. It says, that's me. I find women sexually attractive, but could never be in a relationship. But I can't be intimate with someone unless I can have a potential relationship. I just
Mm.
look from afar. Why is that? And when I tap on it, it says another moderator just handled this. Well, I don't know who that moderator is because Bridget's the only moderator in here.
Mm-mm.
So,
I didn't
yeah,
do
that's
anything.
I will answer that though, Zena. That's really interesting. Oh, hi, Sasha. Was it you that can you show Zena's comment there? Because
Let
it's
me go
quite
back
an
on.
interesting one.
I'm
But
not
the
even on
thing
YouTube.
is,
Let me
right,
go on.
Bridge, what were you saying?
I was saying I'm not even on YouTube, but let me go into YouTube, see what's going
Yeah,
on.
I've got it on my phone here. Yes, just entered. I'm probably hated. I'm sorry. Why are you hated? That is so silly, Zena. You're not hated at all. Can you put Zena's comment up there? It won't let me do it. When I press it, it says another moderator just handled this.
It's saying the same thing for me. I can't show it.
Oh, that's weird. And there's no dodgy words in there or anything.
Mm-mm.
Oh, try and type it out again, Zena. Yeah, that's really weird. Anyway, yeah, I find that quite interesting. So you find women sexually attractive, but could never be in a relationship with one, I presume. But I can't be intimate with someone unless I can have a potential relationship. Oh, right. So
Mhm.
you've never had one night stands or anything, Zena? You don't know what you're missing.
She doesn't. She doesn't.
Oh my God. Listen, friends with benefits is the best. It's the
You know, I
best
had this I
relationship.
had this one guy that like it wasn't serious. We hung out, we did our thing, and then he's just calling. I think I talked about this a little bit in my video. He was calling and calling, and he was like, the thing that we had between us, it didn't mean anything to you. And I'm just like, well, it just happened. It didn't matter.
Oh my God. They don't get it, do they? Oh, I mean, back in the day, oh my God, just found them so much easier. But the funny thing was, I remember my daughter saying to me one day, listen, I never used to bring men back to the house, okay? They used to go to their fathers at the weekend, so mummy could play. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
but I remember her saying to me once, do you know what, Mum? One of these days, because she used to hear like me talking to people on the phone. And she said, one of these days, two of your men are going to walk up the path together.
Oh my God, that has happened to me.
Has it?
It was so awkward. Like, oh my God. And they knew each other too. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh no! Did you open the door?
I did. It was so awkward. And then finally, one of them was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go now." I was just like, "Oh my god, this is horrible." It was
Oh,
horrible.
I know. But I can relate to that story that you said though, because I think if you have friends with benefits, um, you really do have to make it clear that it is
Hmm.
just with benefits, even if they're like once a week friends. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
And you just sort of, you sort of kids are in bed or they're not in the house, and you're like, maybe I'll have a booty call tonight. How did we get onto this subject? You're disgusting, Bridge. Absolutely disgusting. Oh dear. That's why it always makes me laugh, when people online, people who dislike you, like Zena said, oh, what was that? There's a lot of Bia says there's a lot of mean girls in this community, Zena, that would hate you for no reason, pay them no mind.
Hmm.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I feel, because they don't, and I know Bridget feels the same way. They haven't got a clue who we
Right.
are.
Right.
And and the things they make up about you are really quite comical,
Right.
because it's like you really do not know.
Right. That's why I talked
Yeah.
about in my video about like that guy GP was like, "Oh, she's just so heartbroken over the guy and she just doesn't trust anybody because she loved him." I'm just like, "What are you talking about?" No.
I know. I know. It's like, we shouldn't talk drama, but I will say I've always side-eyed that guy and Hannibal.
Hmm.
Both of them, there's something there. I don't know whether they're misogynistic
Yeah.
or they just don't like successful women. They
Yeah.
don't like women who speak up against them. I don't know, but there's something with those two.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, let me see, let me see. Zena says she's going to start a channel soon with another known person in the community. So we'll probably get some hate. We're
Uh-oh.
nervous but
Uh-oh.
excited. You do you, boo.
I
You
want to
do what
know
you've got to
who.
do. Don't take any notice of shit stirrers,
Hmm.
because you know I just ignore them. And at the end of the day, it's like I said to Edna this morning. Remember Edna? Remember my co-host? Honestly, she bloody useless, that woman.
She's probably asleep. She
Do
is
you know
really
what I
probably
know?
asleep.
I know. And she'd be like, "Oh, hi, Jan. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was tired." Oh, yeah, all right, Edna. Whatever.
That's how I felt. I was supposed to go on stream with what's his name, a chef over the weekend, but he didn't remind me or anything. And he hit me up and I contacted him like 3 hours later. I was really asleep. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God. So Sasha says GP blocked me because I called him a creep in Bridget's comments. It might
But
have hit a nerve. I think it
you
might.
didn't even say it to him. You didn't even say it to him in his stream and he blocked you. Wow.
Do you know what I find so incredible is that they always accuse everybody of stalking them, right? "Oh,
Hmm.
she's a stalker." It's like Halsey. "Oh, that Jan's view, she's a stalker, she's a stalker." Um, okay, if I was gonna stalk somebody, do you think I'd stalk some drunken old bloody, cross-dresser in New York? I
But
think
wait, he brought me up in his live stream. I think it was like last week, and I paneled with you the day before. He was like, "Oh yeah, Bridget was on Jan's panel," and I was just like, "Well, how do you know?"
exactly,
Clearly, he was there watching. He's probably
exactly.
watching now. Hey, hussy.
"Hi, Hubby, how you doing?" Oh my God. Do you know, I think the funny thing with him is the longer he stays online, the more and more like a monster he's becoming. He's
Yeah,
really metamorphosing
yeah,
into a true monster. And I
yeah.
understand, like, he's a tall man as well. So I just think, oh my God, he really is turning into this insane monster that nobody wants
Yeah.
anything to do with,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, don't you poor Edna. She's been getting it in the neck. And yes, some people know who she is. She was a frequent panelist on a reaction channel. Yo Mama mentions her sometimes too. Any guesses? Yeah, I know. But it's like I said, Yo Mama said something last night about it and in his live stream. And I answered that the thing is, Edna's grown. Okay, Edna's grown. It's not for me to tell her what she can and can't do, or
Mhm.
what she can and cannot say. Having said that, if I don't agree with her, I will speak to her, but I won't speak to her in public about it.
Mhm.
Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? There's
Mhm.
ways of dealing with things, and I wouldn't have her on panel and then say, "Here, Edna, what's this about you saying this and this
Right.
and that?"
Right.
It's just not a very nice thing to do, especially to
Mhm.
somebody that, you've got a little bit of a relationship with. We we get on, we laugh.
Right.
Sh She seems to understand me as much as Edna understands anyone. Bless her heart. I just think she's a sweet little thing.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, because she gets some hate too, just because of the people that she is sometimes on panel with. But like, I don't see her as problematic. She's just there trying to have fun, trying to talk. She
Hmm.
she. I've never seen Edna hate on anybody for her to be getting
No,
hate.
she doesn't. She
Hmm.
really doesn't. Because even if I'm sounding off about somebody, she'll come up with, "Yeah, but,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I don't know if you were there that time when she triggered me over Foodie.
Foodie.
Do you
Yes.
know what? It wasn't so much that Foodie triggered me, although she does. It was the fact that Edna was going, "Yeah, but, yeah, but," and I'm like, "No." There's no buts. But, oh, that's sweet. She stuck up for you against Monty. I'm glad she didn't back down. Monty tried to convince her of why not to like you. Yeah,
Mhm.
well, Monty doesn't know who I am. He's a funny little thing. Or maybe we might talk about him on Drama Friday, I think. Because I think he needs to, yeah, there's something that's not right with Monty, I think. He's 40, isn't he, Bridge?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Does anyone in chat know? Is Monty 40? Because I don't want to say it and get it wrong. I think he is, isn't he? Because I was really surprised when I found out. Exactly, Sasha. She has got a good soul. Sometimes she's
Mhm.
a little lost. Put it that way.
She's probably high. She likes the cannabis.
Oh, no. Is that when I was talking about addictions last week? I was
Right,
like, "Oh."
right. I was like, "Oh, that's why she's always so sleepy." Okay.
Yeah, she's always away with the fairies, bless her. So let's quickly just get back just for like the last 10 minutes um to about the friendship thing. Um there's your mama. Hi, sweetie. How are you, sweetness? Um Ran with that lie last night. What?
What lie? What lie was that?
Did he? Oh, of course he would. He's just out to shit stir, isn't he? You
Oh,
know
me
he's
and
just
me
out
and
to shit stir.
me and Bia had so much fun last night in Bally Stream where we were talking all kinds of mess about Hannibal. It was great. We were laughing.
You and who?
Bia, yeehaw. I
Oh,
don't know if she's
right,
still
okay.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something wrong with that man,
Mm-hmm.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to keep talking about him because I think it makes him feel that he's relevant. But oh my
Yeah.
God, the man is such a bitch. He
Yes,
really
that's
is.
exactly what I said. Exactly what I said last night. I was like, he is not a man. I said he's a
No,
girl and he's a bitch. Yes.
I haven't seen it, and I refuse to give him a review. If somebody else shows it, then I'll watch it. But I don't want to watch that man. He creeps me out.
Yeah.
He really
Yeah.
does. You know, I sort of envisage him as like an elderly black guy sat on a bench, you know, in a park, a bit like Hussey does, moaning at the world, just grumping at the world, and feeling that, you know, he's been let down by everybody. And why
And
doesn't everyone see how wonderful he is?
that is exactly what we were making fun of him for last night, being an old man, doing old things, trying to be hip, trying to be in touch with the world. And he's just old and out of touch and hates women.
Exactly. He really
Uh-huh.
does hate women. And
Uh-huh.
he also hates younger dudes as well. And
I
that's
said
why he
I
doesn't go
one of
on.
the things I said, because Valley was like, I don't know why he hates me so much. And somebody was like, well, because he's attracted to you. I said, no. I said, because he wants to be Valley. That's what it is. He wants to be her. He wants to
Oh,
be a woman.
really? Does he come
That's what
hard
I
for
said.
her as well then?
Yes. Yes.
Does
He
he?
hates her. He hates her. He hates her. It's
Why?
horrible. No
Do you know what?
idea.
You're right, yeah, Mama. I think he gives stalker vibes as well. And and the way he talks. I mean, I talk a bit slower. I'm an old dude, you know. I've said so many words in my life. I've almost run out of things to say. But I do try and speed it up a little bit because I know I do have a tendency to talk slow, but he talks so slowly, it's painful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
but I still stand by what I said 100%. He but do you know what? I think it's more than just being a little jealous. I think it's about real hate. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think if he was in the park, say, and some young dude like Yo Mama rode by on his bike, he's the type to like stick his foot out or something to
Yep.
make him fall off.
Yep. Mhm.
Um, he's just so hateful, but I don't understand why he's coming for Bali. I didn't know he was coming for Bali.
He comes for her hard. He
What is
really
it?
does.
What's he saying about her then? What is she doing wrong?
Just all the talking about her drinking, just basically talking down to her in every way possible. In every
I,
way.
the thing is, he talks down about everybody.
Mhm.
And, you know, and I think the sad thing is, I mean, I can be judgmental, trust me, I can be.
Mhm.
But I can always see if somebody's got a good heart and if somebody's got a
Right.
good soul, you know.
Mhm.
And I'd put you in that category. You've yet to prove me wrong yet. But also I put Yo Mama in there and I put Edna in there. And because you can just tell when somebody's got a
Right.
soul, you know. This
Right.
Hannibal has got no soul.
Right. Mhm.
And I don't know whether he's been mistreated. Has he been mistreated by the women in his life? I don't know.
I think he has like an inferiority complex because he's always talking about how intelligent he is, how
Uh-huh.
educated he is. I think he has an inferiority complex. I really
Yeah,
do.
I said
Mhm.
that. I said it first, Bridge. Don't try and get it. Yeah, yeah, you're right, yeah, Mama. He doesn't like when people watch him. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. He's got such an inflated view of himself
Mhm.
that he can't even put himself on camera. And, you know, like I remember your mama saying, yeah, well, you know, he puts up a picture. What's a picture? I could look good in a
Right.
picture. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? But I mean, if I'm driving in my car and I haven't got any makeup on and I've just scraped back my hair and I'm just going live, I don't give a toss. I don't give a toss what I look
Mhm.
like. But I don't think he can do that. He's so pretentious. That's the
Yeah.
word for him. He's pretentious. Yeah, and he always, as Sasha says, he always says, "Do your homework," and
Mhm.
yet he does none.
Right.
Have you spoken on him yet, Bridge? Have you done anything on him yet?
Yes, I did 2 videos on him, and his
Oh,
whole crew hates me. His entire crew hates me. Like, I can still talk to Hannibal. He'll talk to me, and he'll be like, "I know you
okay.
don't like me, but we'll be cordial and stuff." But his all the people, like, in his chat, they hate me.
Really?
Yes.
Join the club. I know. Yeah, I do remember you doing it. Shut up, Sasha. You know I've got a bad memory. I've got a terrible memory. Yeah, Mama, if you're still here, I forgot that I had you on panel the other week. Oh my God, that was so funny. Yeah, I love it when, yeah, I think I do remember. Yes, we did. I think we almost bonded over that, didn't we, Bridge? I thought,
Hmm.
yeah, she knows where I'm coming from this guy. There's something really uncomfortable about him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I haven't
Hmm.
put my finger on it, but other than the fact that he's just so jealous of Yo Mama, it's like,
Right.
get over it, man. You're never going to be like Yo Mama. Just be
Hmm.
you. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Whatever you are,
Hmm.
boring as hell. So who are these people? Who are these people that are in his chat? I want to know who they are.
Well, you got that the girl Curl Connections. You went over her one time when
Oh
yeah,
God,
you talked to her when she was yeah.
oh, have you spoken to her?
I had well, I spoke to her in comments one time, but it wasn't anything bad. Like it was a cordial little exchange. But
Yeah.
from what I know from her ex friend, she hates me.
Oh
She
God.
absolutely hates me. But she's never
But
said
then I
anything to me.
but I think, you know what it is? I think he hates people that show any ounce of intelligence
Yeah.
and people who can string a sentence together and
Hmm.
come up with like a rational thought because and I think Curl definitely is like that. Have you heard the girl speak?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. It's
Hmm.
embarrassing. Right, yeah, Mama, are you going live in a bit? Because I think we've gone way off track. And Edna's probably gonna say, "Oh, what did you talk about? And that?" Well, we talked about Hannibal and we talked about and it was all Bridget's fault.
We're all over the place.
We are, but it's been fun. But I'm
Mhm.
gonna go and
Okay.
I'm gonna say thank you so much, Bridge, you're absolute star. Thanks for coming up, darling.
No
Always
problem.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
And to
having me.
everybody that came in, always lovely to see you. No idea where she is. Don't start, Yo Mama. She was meant to be here. I spoke to her earlier and she's chill. We're fine. But I think she's probably nodded off. She'll come
Mhm.
up to me later. She'll message me and she'll go, "Hey Jan, I'm really sorry. I just fell asleep." Yeah, all right, Edna. Whatever. So anyway, we'll go over it. Maybe we'll talk about Edna on Drama
Drama,
Friday.
right?
Yeah, Edna got baked. Yeah, and not by the sun. We need to have words with this Edna. We need to put her on the straight and narrow. That's what we need to do. God love her. All right then, guys. I'm going to say bye-bye. You take care of yourselves out there. Thanks again, Bridge, an absolute star. And I'll see you all very soon. See you on Friday, guys. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.